Hello everyone and welcome to Mind Garbage. My name is Eric Myers. If you didn't know, Mind Garbage is a weekly show that comes out every Monday and Friday, and I talk to you about whatever I want for roughly 10 minutes. Today I want to talk to you about my predictions for Sony's E3 press conference. Now I had a really hard time trying to narrow this one down because traditionally my wheel goes into the Sony side a little bit more. I try to have a broader sense of everything that's going on, but that's kind of like where my head lays at. I'm in that community, sort of. So I had to get this one was a little more difficult for me because it was like, okay, I can't just have 20 predictions. I just want to have 5, kind of just like, real narrow list. Some of them seem like obvious. Some of them might not be so obvious, but sorry, this is the way it's got to be. I want some slam dunks here. Give them to me. I want to sink them like Steph Curry. Yeah, that was a really good basketball reference. I'm kind of proud of myself. All right, getting in. Number 1. I think at least 3 first parties will announce their new games, and they're either coming out this year or next year or whatever. Originally I was thinking, maybe Sucker Punch is going to show off their new game. Studio Santa Monica is going to show off their new game. Sony Bend is going to show off their new game. And I could think maybe even other studios that are working on games could formally, that first parties are working, doing stuff for them, would show off their games. The reason why I think this is really going to happen is because I do think we're going to see Sucker Punch's next game. I really do think that, and the only reason why I think that is because they have been working on it for at least a little while. And it doesn't have to come out this year, and come out next year sometime. But I do believe that it is in the realm of possibility that this game could come out. Obviously, God of War 4 is going to be announced. I mean, that just seems like a slam dunk, especially with stuff leaking out for that game. PlayStation Plus has been giving out God of War PSP games. I do think that, that'll be announced. As a little side note, I do think that they'll announce a new God of War, and I think that they'll make God of War 3 free for PS4. So, like, anyone could go in, at least, be like, hey, God of War 3 is free, you can play it or whatever. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Obviously, it seems like Sony Bend would show off their game eventually. Not today. That seems like the perfect time to do it. Like, hey, check out our new game. Don't you want to check it out? It looks pretty cool, right? So I do think that they're going to announce their new game, and then anyone else, who knows? It would not surprise me if we see any more. Number 2, Bloodborne 2 is in development. As far as I know, From has moved on to their next project. Now, From doesn't necessarily need to do Bloodborne 2, because as far as I know, Sony owns the rights to that IP, and, really they'd be stupid not to make another Bloodborne game. Especially with how, ridiculously well-received Bloodborne was. Makes sense, right? Let's do it. Let's make another one. So I think it's a pretty safe bet. We'll see it. I'm 50-50 on whether or not it's going to be, from software. But it seems like chances are probably will be. But, we will see. We will see. Number 3, Last Guardian gets a release date. Now, Last Guardian is kind of the running joke when it comes to video games, right along with Final Fantasy, originally Versus 13, now Final Fantasy 15. I think it's a safe bet that we're going to get a release date, because at this point, obviously, it's not like they're going to come out in a few days and say, oh, by the way, it's, coming out in a few months. Let's just get the release date, with the press around it and everything. Let's get it out there, get people excited. I do think it's going to be sooner than we would think. I would say as soon as August, maybe. Because, that's a game that has been in development for so long. Here's how I look at it. It's either going to be August it's coming out, or honestly, as late as December. Because that game has taken so long. I wouldn't even be surprised if this game has, oh, by the way, it's got an early 2017 release date, because that game is just tortured. But I do think that we are going to get a release date, and my gut tells me it's going to be a lot sooner than people think. It could even be within a few weeks. You never know. Number 4, VR will have a huge presence. It will get a release date along with a slew of new titles. Now, release date, I feel like slam dunk. We're going to see when this thing is supposed to come out specifically. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of new titles, and I mean a lot of new titles, and some first-party titles. I think that London demo, I think that's in some way, shape, or form a new Getaway, spiritual successor maybe, would make sense. Why not? Come on, just do it. Just do a new Getaway, something like that. But yeah, I think that's definitely going to be the case, and I think they're going to talk about VR for a better part of the conference. Especially since last year they barely touched on it, but this is the year that's like, it's coming out this year, you're going to announce a release date, tell everyone why they need VR. So my last and final prediction is that Neo will be talked about, and I don't believe the rumors that, so there was originally rumors that this was going to be, I think, talked about during Paris Games Week, but if it's supposed to come out this year, Paris Games Week usually is around October. It doesn't make sense to me to announce the PS4 Neo, whatever this new console is, whatever it's going to be, and if it seemingly is what it is, doesn't make sense to announce it probably after the VR comes out. Like I don't see the point in that. I think that they're going to talk about it at E3. My absolute hope for this is that, because I thought about doing a video on the PS4 Neo, and I decided really not to because I have conflicting opinions on it, where part of me doesn't think it's a big deal, other part of me thinks it's a ridiculously big deal. My hope, and even though I know it's not the case, it makes me sad, it makes me want to cry and throw up. My hope is that it's just a slim with maybe like a better hard drive, or like even incrementally better things. But we all know that's not the case. So I'm very interested to see how this goes, but I do think that they will address the Neo, because at this point, the Neo is kind of like the very, very large elephant in the room of Sony. So I'll say. Yeah, those are my 5 predictions. That's the most I could get. Well, obviously I could have had way more even, but it's really hard for me to just boil it all down to like, oh, this is what I think is going to happen, because I do, like I said, I tried to expand upon it a little bit, but I had to condense it because I didn't want to be biased to be like, oh, you had 20 predictions for what Sony's press conference is going to be. You barely had 5 from Microsoft. Like, you are right, Joe Blow from New York. I did, but what can I say? I'm a Sony man. Sorry. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you'd like, you can like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at EricMyers93, link down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later this week.